something funny. When we was talking in like the 12th round, I think the 12th or 11th, we was talking right, but he like, you ain't gonna win. I said, why not? What you talking about? He like, they ain't gonna give it to you. I said, oh, is that right?
The controversy over Gervonta Tank Davis's majority draw against Lamont Roach Jr. is getting more intense by the day, shaping up to be one of boxing's biggest scandals this year. What seemed like a clear-cut fight outcome has now sparked heated debates about corruption, favoritism, and whether outside influences played a role in protecting Davis.
Down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people saying, oh, that, you know, he should be disqualified. He went back to the corner. I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning, but it's a bit of a bizarre situation.
Fans are still shocked by what happened in the 9th round. Referee Steve Willis didn't call it a knockdown, even though he briefly started a count before stopping himself, leaving everyone confused. That single moment changed the entire fight's momentum. Now, rumors are swirling that Willis was either pressured or even bribed to ensure Davis kept his title.
Oh, if you take the knee, man, if you take the knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking the point out. That's the bottom line. You're taking the point out. I don't know what happened with...
The fight itself was already full of surprises. Lamont Roach Jr., a huge underdog, entered the ring with nothing to lose and everything to prove against the power and aggression of Gervonta Davis. Few expected him to go the full 12 rounds, let alone push the champ to his limits. But that's exactly what happened. From the start, Roach made it clear he wasn't just another name for Tank's highlight reel. He fought with precision, discipline, and confidence, slipping past Davis's power shots and landing sharp counters. As the fight progressed, it became clear this wouldn't be an easy night for Davis. For the first time in a while, he looked frustrated. His usual rhythm was off, and Roach refused to give him the openings he wanted. Then came the 9th round, the moment that changed everything.
Watch that fight. I mean, the only reason they gave you the fight was because you would make more money as a champion, but there's no way it's a draw, and they didn't call it a knockdown. If they called a knockdown, you lost that.
Roach landed a clean shot that sent Davis staggering, forcing him to take a knee. The crowd reacted instantly, expecting the referee to call it a knockdown, but Steve Willis, known for his expressive officiating, did something completely unexpected. He hesitated. For a brief moment, it looked like he was about to start a count, but then he stopped. Instead of ruling it a knockdown, he waved it off like nothing happened. The commentators were shocked. The arena erupted in confusion, and social media exploded with fans demanding answers. How was this not a knockdown? Replays made it clear. Davis took a knee after a clean shot, yet Willis acted as if it never happened. When the final scorecards were read, that moment loomed large. Instead of what many felt should have been a loss, Davis walked away with a majority draw.
Lamont not being in big names, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he feel like feeling good that he lost and he didn't, or it was a draw, you know.
Now, even more details are starting to surface. Allegations have emerged that Steve Willis was offered a $2 million bribe to protect Davis. At first, it seemed like nothing more than frustrated fans pushing conspiracy theories. But then, boxing insiders started saying the same thing. Some claimed that people close to Davis's camp had been in contact with the referee before the fight. This would explain why Tank was so confident, even telling Roach that no matter what he did, he wouldn't be given the win. Others pointed out that Willis's hesitation in the 9th round wasn't just a simple mistake. It looked like he was second-guessing himself, knowing he couldn't afford to make the wrong call. If these claims turn out to be true, this could go down as one of the most blatant cases of corruption in boxing in years.
Honestly, I thought I should have won without that being counted a knockdown. Look, I ain't the ref. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he had to wipe sweat out of the eye, he had to wipe sweat out of the eye. But the rules do state, if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic 8 count. But it is what it is. I wasn't relying on that. I was relying on what I was doing.
Things became even more suspicious when the World Boxing Association rushed to defend Willis's decision. Instead of calming the situation, they made it worse by publishing an article on their official website insisting that Willis made the right call. The article stated, "From our perspective, Willis's decision was not unreasonable or unjustifiable. No knockdown should have been recorded." That statement immediately sparked outrage. It felt like the WBA was trying to shut down the controversy before it spiraled out of control. But the backlash was swift. Fans weren't buying it, boxing analysts called it absurd, and former fighters openly criticized the WBA for protecting Davis. Within hours, the article was being torn apart on social media, and the pressure on the WBA only intensified.
Thank you.
It was a close fight.
I'm not surprised the way Lamont fought. I knew Lamont was going to come to fight. It was the opportunity of a lifetime. You did a good job. You fought a great fight.
What went wrong with Tank Davis? I mean, I was
what was wrong with
him out.
Every night in boxing is not your best. Feel me?
The backlash became so intense that WBA President Gilberto Mendoza had to take down the article and issue a public apology. But instead of clearing things up, his apology only raised more questions. Mendoza posted a direct message to Lamont Roach Jr. on X saying, "Champ, as president of the WBA, I must apologize for the opinion of a collaborator of the website. We believed in you since day one. We knew you would have a marvelous performance and feel proud of you as champion." That wording immediately raised eyebrows. If this was just one person's opinion, why was it published on the WBA's official site? And why was the WBA so quick to defend Willis in the first place? Mendoza also reached out to Roach's father, who serves as his manager and trainer, with a similar message, but by then, the damage was done. To many, this looked like a failed cover-up. The WBA seemed caught in the act of protecting Davis, and once they realized the backlash was too strong, they scrambled to backpedal. At this point, all eyes were on Gervonta Davis. With bribery accusations swirling, fans wanted to hear his response. But when Tank finally spoke, he didn't exactly deny or confirm anything. Instead, he fired back at critics, saying, "I don't know anything about that, but look, they've been hating on me since day one. Y'all acting like I ain't never had to fight for my respect. They just mad cause I ain't lose my belt." Davis also insisted he had no problem with a rematch, saying, "If they want a rematch, we can run it back. I ain't ducking nobody." But if that were true, why hasn't a rematch already been announced? Some believe Davis's camp is stalling because they know Roach is a real threat.
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure, but hopefully we could get it before. Nah, it probably won't be this year.
Meanwhile, the New York State Athletic Commission is now being dragged into the controversy. They were supposed to use instant replay on fight night, but for some reason it never happened. Their official excuse? Technical issues. That explanation only made people more suspicious. What kind of technical issue conveniently occurs right when instant replay could have changed the outcome of a major title fight? Now, some fans are demanding a full investigation, and rumors are swirling that Roach's team is considering legal action to challenge the fight result. If that happens, this situation could get even uglier.
How do you assess his power after being in there for 12?
It got decent power. It got decent power for sure. I ain't gonna say it's exaggerated. I told you I got a chin. I ain't going like that.
With controversy growing, the pressure for a rematch is mounting. Even WBA President Gilberto Mendoza admitted they're now considering pushing for a second fight, saying, "I have asked the WBA committee to follow up on Lamont Roach Jr.'s direct rematch case closely. However, we believe the parties, as expressed in the post-fight interview, will amicably agree to run it again." But many fans aren't buying it. The WBA has already shown where its loyalty lies, and some believe they'll do whatever it takes to make sure Davis doesn't lose. Even if a rematch happens, what's stopping the same shady politics from interfering again?
that people want to discredit Tank, he's still a fucking pound for pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a fucking night with Cruz.
While this controversy has the boxing world buzzing, Canelo Alvarez is also making headlines with his upcoming May fight against William Skull. But that hasn't stopped him from weighing in on the sport's biggest scandal. Right now, the Mexican superstar, known for speaking his mind, didn't hold back when discussing what he saw in the 9th round of Davis vs. Roach. In an interview on Hot 97's Ebro in the Morning, Canelo made it clear that by the rules, Roach should have won the round 10-8, and Davis's corner stepping into the ring mid-round should have resulted in an automatic disqualification. He took a knee. He needs to lose like 10-8 that round at least. And plus, the corner went up and put a towel in his face. That's a disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rules, but you know it's not my business. Canelo's comments only add more weight to the growing calls for an investigation and possibly a rematch.
And in the end, lost that fight to Roach, in your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, if it was a draw, he take a knee. And the corner go up and put a towel in the face, that's a disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rules, but it's not my business.
When Canelo spoke, he kept it short, but his words carried serious weight. This wasn't just any boxer talking. This was the undisputed super middleweight champion calling out how the rules were ignored to benefit Gervonta Davis. As the controversy keeps growing, it's getting harder to brush this situation under the rug. The New York State Athletic Commission is still investigating, and if their findings go against Davis, it could shake up the entire lightweight division. Veteran boxing writer Dan Raphael didn't hold back on ProBox TV, saying, if they just made one right call, Lamont Roach wins the fight. He made it clear, Steve Willis's mistake didn't just cost Roach a title, it robbed him of the chance to hand America's top fighter his first loss. Every bad call went against Roach, and now the backlash is only getting louder.
If that was kind of knockdown, I would win a majority decision. Honestly, I thought I should have won without that, but the rules do state if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic A game.
Regulators across the country are keeping a close eye on the situation as NOISAC chairman Matthew Dalio faces growing pressure to make a ruling. But it's not a simple decision. If Dalio overturns the fight, Gervonta Davis could lose his WBA lightweight title and take his first official loss. On the other hand, some believe it wouldn't be fair to change the result without giving Davis a chance to settle things in a rematch. One of the biggest concerns is how referee Steve Willis handled the fight. Not only did he fail to call a clear knockdown, but he also allowed Davis's corner to step into the ring mid-round. If the rules had been followed, Roach would have gained a huge advantage in the final rounds. Instead, Davis was given time to recover, wipe his face, and continue like nothing happened. Now, the real question is, was this just a bad mistake, or is there more to the story?
I'm still rooting with him. I saw all the negativity and people, critics talking, but I think he's one hell of a fighter, and I think he's still the top dog.
Former referee Jack Rice weighed in on the controversy during an appearance on ProBox TV, emphasizing a key rule: fighters can't call their own timeouts. You cannot call your own timeout, he stated, pointing out that while referees have discretion, they still have to follow the rules. Former world champion Paulie Malignaggi was quick to call out the double standard, and the outrage only grew when it was revealed that an instant replay review was available but never used. The commission had the opportunity to correct the mistake in real time, yet they did nothing. This has only added to speculation that Davis received special treatment. Because of this, ProBox TV founder Gary Jonas, who also advises Roach, has officially appealed the decision, arguing that Roach should be declared the rightful winner. Trainer Steven Breadman Edwards summed up the frustration best. People make mistakes, but this always happens to favor the A side. That's the real issue here. If the roles were reversed, if Roach had taken a knee, walked to his corner, mid-round and been given an unofficial timeout, would the referee have let it slide? Most believe the answer is no.
And y'all gotta chill out with all of this Loma's beating Tank, and like, this is crazy, man. Tank is knocking out Loma, man. Get out of here with that shit.
Couldn't knock out Roach, man. Yo. Couldn't knock out Roach.
I think Roach knocks out Loma.
Many in the boxing world are pushing for an immediate rematch at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, where the controversy first unfolded. But for some, a rematch alone isn't enough. There are growing demands for referee Steve Willis to face disciplinary action, for the New York Commission to overturn the fight's official result, and even for Davis to be stripped of his title. Adding to the debate, one of Davis's biggest rivals, Ryan Garcia, has weighed in. Garcia, who lost to Davis by knockout last April, has surprisingly sided with Roach this time. If that changes the whole fight, if that gives Roach the victory, give him the victory, Garcia said. That's how you keep the integrity of the sport, right? That's why they suspended me, right? To keep the integrity of the sport.
That was a knockdown, without a doubt. You can't spin it no other way. It's too clear. And I think the commission needs to do something about it, because it can give me an incentive, anytime I'm not feeling good in a fight, take a knee.
Well, they said
that's not a shot at Tank. I respect Tank, and I like.
Garcia's comment is a clear shot at boxing's double standards. After his fight with Devin Haney, he was suspended for testing positive for a banned substance, a punishment many felt was too severe. Now, he's calling out the hypocrisy. If boxing is truly about fairness, why aren't the same strict rules being applied to Davis? The controversy surrounding Davis versus Roach has gone beyond just one fight. It's now about the integrity of the sport itself. If a referee can ignore a clear knockdown, allow a fighter's corner to interfere mid-round, and still let the favored fighter keep his belt, what does that say about boxing as a whole?
Did Gervonta Tank Davis have an off night? Probably. Did he have grease in his eye? Probably. Put the grease on. And did Lamont Roach win the fight? Yes. Let's look at the cap.
The Noyesak is expected to make a decision soon, and the outcome could have huge consequences. If they uphold the original result, it could further damage fans' trust in the sport. If they overturn it, Davis's reputation will take a serious hit, and the lightweight division could be thrown into chaos. One thing is clear, this controversy isn't dying down. With big names like Canelo Alvarez, Ryan Garcia, and even Teofimo Lopez speaking out, the pressure is only growing, and with tensions already high between Davis, Shakur Stevenson, and Vasily Lomachenko, this situation could be the spark that leads to a major shakeup in boxing.
You lost that unanimously.
I went Mace. I think he lost the fight. That referee has a lot of experience. For you not to call that knee a knockdown is crazy.
As the controversy surrounding Davis unfolds, another major debate is heating up. Who would win if Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson finally faced off? With both holding a piece of the lightweight world title, this is the fight fans are desperate to see. Recent performances from both fighters have only added to the excitement, but Davis's situation has thrown his future into question. If the New York State Athletic Commission overturns his win against Roach, he could be forced into a rematch, or even stripped of his title, potentially delaying or derailing a fight with Stevenson. Meanwhile, with accusations of corruption, a possible bribe, and referee Steve Willis's questionable calls in the 9th round, Davis's reputation has taken a hit. Fans are now asking, is he truly unstoppable, or is he just being protected?
But he still had rounds to go. We thought it was in the 8th round. He was good. We just couldn't figure out why he wouldn't pick it up. Right. And so I think it was maybe a lack of focus just for a little bit, and we'll fix that.
On the other hand, Shakur Stevenson may have won his last fight, but it wasn't the statement victory fans were expecting. He faced late replacement Josh Padley after Floyd Schofield pulled out due to illness, and while Stevenson secured a 9th round stoppage, many felt he should have ended the fight much sooner. Given Stevenson's reputation as one of the best defensive boxers in the sport, his struggle to put away a lesser opponent raised concerns. Some critics even question whether he has the power to keep someone like Davis from pressuring him in the ring.
You can run over. You can't do that in boxing.
anything can happen. You can have a great night, Elita. You got to believe in your soul, and I think the T was in there with his soul tonight. It was a good fight, don't get me wrong. And, to me, it could have went either way.
Now, with both fighters coming off performances that left fans questioning their dominance, the debate over who would win between Davis and Stevenson is hotter than ever. Two-weight world champion Teofimo Lopez, who has had his fair share of words with both fighters, recently weighed in on the matchup. Speaking to Fight Hub TV, Lopez made it clear that despite Davis's struggles against Roach, he still believes Tank would come out on top against Stevenson. I still think Gervonta will win against Shakur. Technically, I just think like that, Lopez said confidently. His stance isn't too surprising given his history with Stevenson.
Do you still think that fight's possible? I know he might have a break after that fight with Lamont Roach, but do you feel like you guys could fight 2025 or 2026?
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't into chasing people around. I mean, if he's willing to fight, I'm ready to fight, and I think it should happen. But
Lopez and Stevenson have had their fair share of back and forth exchanges, and Lopez has never hesitated to question whether Stevenson can handle pressure from top tier opponents. Still, his prediction holds weight. As a former unified lightweight champion and the current WBO super lightweight champion, Lopez understands what it takes to succeed at the highest level. His confidence in Davis speaks volumes, but Lopez isn't the only one making predictions. Veteran trainer Robert Garcia also shared his thoughts on the potential fight, offering a different perspective. While he acknowledged Davis's power, he emphasized that Stevenson's defense and ring IQ make him a tough opponent for anyone. According to Garcia, if Stevenson fights smart and avoids Davis's knockout shots, he could outbox him over 12 rounds.
I'm not even going to shit on him, but look, I want some money tonight. That's all I'm happy for. I want money tonight.
Shakur, tell us something, bro. Like, what did you think about the decision?
I ain't going to shit on him.
Okay.
We still got to see each other. He say he want to fight me, so we going to fight.
But what do you think about the decision?
I thought Lamont won.
You thought Lamont won?
The big question is whether Stevenson can stay flawless for an entire fight. That's what makes this matchup so compelling. Stevenson's defense is elite, but Davis has fight-changing power. If Davis lands clean, can Stevenson withstand it? If Stevenson avoids those big shots, can Davis adjust and outbox him? These are the debates fans want settled in the ring. However, with Davis caught up in the fallout from his controversial draw, the fight's future is uncertain. For now, both fighters remain on separate paths. Davis dealing with the controversy, while Stevenson searches for an opponent who can truly challenge him. What do you think will happen? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more updates.